G'day folks, I'm Ray, and today's video, I'm not part of it. I'm just a cameraman, okay? So my friend Damian and another friend, Kay. Damian is a real estate realtor, I guess, in Nevada, living here now. Kay is a realtor here in Chang Rai, and is in fact, in my opinion, the best realtor in Chiang Rai. So today, Damian and Kay are going to have a chat about the differences between realty in the States and realty in Chiang Rai. I hope it's informative for you, so let's get on with it.
Sawadee krap. Hi everybody. This is Kay from Kay Estate, and she is my Thai real estate agent. Say hello to everybody out in YouTube land.
Hello, I'm Kay.
Hi, Kay.
That's Ray in the background. Yeah, he's. We booted him out of the set because we only have 2 microphones, but we appreciate Ray having us on so we can talk about the differences in between Thai real estate, which you practice,
Yes.
and well, in my case, American real estate.
Before we continue, let me tell you about a house for rent near Central Plaza in Chiang Rai. Note, I do not charge for these promotions. I do it simply because Kay is the best real estate agent in Chiang Rai and her English is fluent. This large house for rent has 3 bedrooms with a large living room and kitchen. The house is located in a quiet and small community behind Central Plaza. The house has 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 1 living room, 1 kitchen dining room, a balcony around the house, and a garage. At only 15,000 baht per month, this is a bargain. It's located in Rop Buyang, Chiang Rai, close to Central Plaza and the old airport. There's a link to this property in the description.
So where were you born? Okay.
I was born in Bangkok.
Okay.
Yes.
And then, but you didn't learn your English in Bangkok, I'm guessing.
Well, I know I learned a little bit at school, but I couldn't speak English. Not really in Bangkok. And then I went to America when I was 9,
Okay.
to Ohio, and then went to New York a year after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's well traveled, and then you came back to Thailand. And what would you say is the reason that you got into real estate as a business?
Well, at first I just wanted to help my friend out because she was in the business before. And then, I don't know, it got serious, and now I'm here.
It got under your skin. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I think when I got into real estate, I was in it 20 years now, and the one thing that was appealing for me was that I could never master it fully. There was always something new to learn. Mm-hmm. And one thing you helped me learn when you were helping me to find the right home to lease here in Thailand is the differences between Thai real estate practice and, in my case, American.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, you know, from the very beginning, you would some of the things I learned from Kay that really stuck with me is how different the U.S. may be from a lot of other countries. What is the first difference that you find Westerners are surprised by when you help them in real estate?
Sorry.
That's a tough one. I know that there are a lot of them.
Ask me again.
Oh, okay. When perhaps when you were working with me, what was something you needed to explain to me that as an American real estate agent I was having a hard time understanding?
Probably the culture, or the fact that sometime when we go look at the house, the owner's always there. In America or in Europe, right? Usually only the realtor. But here, the owner likes to see the tenant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they want to see if you're a good person,
Okay.
if you could live together.
Right.
And it's more of a friendly transaction rather
Okay.
than purely business, like in the U.S. I think maybe.
I remember that. I remember when we were looking
Yeah.
at different houses, and you would introduce me to the owner. Now, as a real estate agent in the U.S., and I should say that licensed to practice in Nevada only, so you can infer from that anything you like. But I'm not talking about giving real estate advice in the U.S. outside of Nevada. But I noticed that well, when I had a seller or somebody who wanted to lease a property, I would tell them, "Skedaddle, get out of here," because I wanted to see the honest reaction of the buyer. I didn't want to see them be too polite because the owner is standing right there.
Right.
I wanted to hear the objections and deal with them. But it's different in Thailand, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
they tell you afterwards.
Because of saving face?
Yes.
Okay. Could you
Yeah.
maybe talk about saving face and what that means?
Well, in Thailand, you want to try to keep to be polite, like a lot of Asians. You want to try to make everything smooth and okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So anything negative, you want to talk to your realtor in private.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe at the house, you just try to be polite to the owner, and then we discuss it privately. And then I would talk to the owner later.
And the owner kind of wants to size me up, don't they? They kind of want to see me and, is he polite? Does he remove his shoes before he walks in? That's another thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you always remove your shoes when you're showing a home?
Yes.
Okay.
Because in Asia, also in Thailand, to walk into someone's home, you have to take off your shoe to show respect, because there's a lot of dust here. And the owner always sweeping or mopping the floor all the time.
Yeah.
In the US, everything is closed and cold, so there's not a lot of dust.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and insulation, I think, is like around windows and that type of thing, double pane glass, and because of the temperature insulation, it also insulates a lot of the dust coming in. But also, I mean that I was finding that like some traditions that may relate to Buddhism, which Thailand is 90% Buddhist, that you just have to kind of adjust yourself toward, and the way we greet an owner or a stranger would be different. In America, when introduced to someone, we would shake their hands. What would we do here?
Well, today in Thailand, we why like this. And then you say, "Sawasdi ka."
Sawadee krap.
Sawasdi ka. Because I'm not so sure. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not so sure, but this is kind of like a lotus shape.
Yes. Okay.
So it's more like I give you flower, you give me flower.
Isn't that interesting? That's
instead of like touching. Because in Thailand, you should not touch each other if you're not close.
Definitely not on the head.
No. Yeah.
Okay, and one thing I remember when we were working together, Kay, is well, number one, I knew that you were going to be my real estate agent because you had a great attention to detail, and I felt that you were not going to hold back in telling me important things. Well, an observation you made is that us Americans were very direct. We will tell someone, if we don't like it, we will tell them, and we don't have to worry about them losing face in any way. But another thing that you mentioned that really stuck with me is that we Americans can be very black or white. Do you remember that conversation? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And how does that compare to like Thai culture?
If I have to say, because sometimes Westerner can be gray as well,
Gray
and they
area.
don't,
Okay.
and they don't like to be black and white. So I'm not sure if that applies to all Westerners, because a lot of Westerners like you to show respect to them, especially if they have a lot of money.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if somebody has a lot of money, you want to try to respect or listen to what they have to say. And well, I always try to please my client, you know. So I have to check how they are. Like, so first I would listen to what they're looking for or what they don't like. Then I try to avoid that. Or if they tell me I don't like this, but I couldn't find anything else, I would say, okay, sorry, but there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that maybe you might not like it, and then that person would kind of appreciate.
Right. Yeah.
You know, that I'm honest about that.
Yeah, and whereas in America you might have dealt with a real estate agent where they've got a listing of their own where they're going to make a double commission, and they don't care that you don't want it, that it's not going to appeal to you. They're still going to show it to you because they're working for the seller, and they want to show the seller they're working. And boy, if they sell that, they're going to make a really good paycheck. Whereas I noticed with Kay, and this is a compliment to you, that you're a lot more motivated by serving the client.
Well, I want to have a long-term relationship with I want to go steady.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to have a one-night stand with my client. Yeah, because I feel like I don't know, I feel it's good to maintain a long-term and good relationship with all my clients if I can.
Yeah.
Or if they're happy with me, because that means they can recommend me or come back to me.
Yeah.
You know, on other businesses.
Right. The
So
referability is important.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I think that's one thing that resonated between us because
Yeah.
I built my business mostly on referred business from past clients. And so you recognize the value of that. And do you find that when a client is referred by someone you've served in the past, that there's trust, that there's already some trust coming in the door because they know somebody who recommended you?
Yes, and I think word of mouth is much stronger. I don't know, to me.
Yep.
Because you have an experience with a realtor, you know how they work, you know, and you always want to work with somebody that is genuine and trustworthy to you.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, everyone.
Yeah.
So I want to be that person always to my client.
That's
you know?
good. That's really, really admirable. We had a few challenges. For example, I've got a little dog, don't I?
Yes. Hi.
I remembered his name.
Yeah.
So what challenges did Pi present for us when we were shopping for the right house?
Well, when I first met you, I felt that you loved your dog a lot, and you brought her here, and you're worried about finding a house without a wall or a gate because you know she might get attacked, get hurt, you know. So I wanted to look for some place with a fence or a gate for you.
Right.
But then you chose a house with a great view.
Yes. Also very important to me. Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like your dog's really well behaved, and she would get on. She would, you know, be okay there.
Yeah.
And what do you think?
You were absolutely right. And a lot of it is that I was worried about other dogs because I'd heard stories of soy dogs.
Yeah.
Right. Which means street dog, and that, you know, they're unkempt and they're unvaccinated, and they, you know, can present diseases, or, you know, I was worried about, you know, exposing my dog to these wild dogs. What I found in the home that you leased for me was that there are a few, I would call them farm dogs. They just live up on the you know, little farms, or like pineapple farms around on the hill where I live, which is only about six houses up there, and there's all owned by the same person, and that those dogs were more afraid of my little Cocker Spaniel. I think he looks like an alien to them with his floppy ears. They're just like, who is this guy?
Well, you know, sometimes they get intimidated because some dogs loved.
Yeah.
And some not, you know, so they have owners.
Right. And I always, when I walk him, I carry a stick. Just because I'm just raising a stick up in the air and the dogs go, oh, okay, no, we're good, you know. So it wasn't like I felt like he was being rolled up on. The only time dogs rolled up on Pi is when they were puppies and they didn't know better, and so their adult dogs would show them, oh no, I don't think we want to mess with that little dog. So as they get bigger, so that was great that you helped me with that, and you convinced a landlord in this case to make an exception for Pi.
Well, with animals, it's just coincidence that I love animals.
Yeah.
You know, so and I also help animals, you know, strays and that with my friends. So I understand dogs quite well. You know, and then, you know, when somebody comes with their dog, I just feel excited, you know, like my dog is also my client as well. And your dog's also my client.
Sure.
Yeah.
Did he send you a Christmas card? So in our case, the landlord had a policy at the property that I wanted of no dogs. But I came here and on my initial tour back in October, to see some houses with you, and you told me that if I showed some pictures and explained the dog, or I don't know what I showed, that you were able to persuade the owner that an exception should be made for Pi.
Yeah, because I wanted to show the owner that your dog doesn't look aggressive or uncontrollable. Because if you come to Thailand with a Rottweiler or something, maybe the owner would say no, right?
Sure, absolutely.
But I mean, looking at Pi, so cute.
Yeah, thank you.
You know?
So, and you know, the fact that I had, you know, proof of his inoculations for diseases, and that he had had some dog training, some professional dog training when he was a puppy. Not that he's well behaved, not that he does what I tell him to, but it ended up being a really good fit. And then you helped me renew recently to sign a new lease for yet another year here in Thailand.
Yes, thanks to you that you still use me.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I was surprised by that, because you asked me, well, do you still want to use my services, Damian? And I'm like, well, in the United States, if you introduce me to the property, you're locked in. You know, you would always be the agent taking care of business. But now that I was paying rent directly to the owner, you said that was not always the case here in Thailand. Is that right?
Well, after a lease, you know, you're free to do whatever you like, because I'm not in the lease anymore. So, you know, like I said at the very beginning, that I want a good relationship with my client, and if I feel somebody wants to work with me, then we go ahead and work together. But if I feel like, oh, my client maybe wants to fly on his own or on her own, and they can, so I want to give them that freedom.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a contract agreement, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you have a deal with somebody. So it's almost like it's okay for you to work with me, or you don't have to. But in the US, I'm not sure how it works.
Well, it's kind of 50-50. In Nevada, I would use what's called a buyer's broker agreement, so that if I was going to give my time and my expertise, which are the only two things I have to sell, to a client to help them find a home, I didn't want them working with other competing realtors at the same time. That wasn't, I don't think, a good agreement.
Can you stop that? Like, okay, if you're working with the client, right, and maybe you have a deal with this person until, I don't know, January, and then they want to move somewhere else, can they go work with another broker? Or
if that were the case, I would never hold somebody to that agreement if they weren't happy with my services. But the problem would arise in that the client wouldn't tell me. They'd be working with other, I'm devoting my time and expertise to helping them, and then they call me up and say, "Hey, we bought a house." I'm like, "What?" "Yeah, oh yeah, we didn't tell you, but we were working with this other agent too."
Is that okay?
Well, no, it wasn't. But the problem is, when it comes to buying homes, agents they have exclusive listings.
Yeah.
But we all sell each other's listings. It's a cooperative agreement where every agent gets paid. Usually, there's a commission offered, even if it's with a different brokerage entirely. But that's not necessarily the case with it here. And so that I would say that, yeah, that was my concern of working with an agent exclusively, is that they wouldn't have enough homes to show me that I could find it. Mm-hmm. Because maybe you've come across some other agents here in Thailand where they're maybe a newer agent, they only have one client, only one home for sale.
Yeah.
They don't have the keys to show me, so it's not a good use of my time. Mm-hmm. But somebody with your experience and connections, you know about a lot of homes, and even better, you know about a lot of homes that are available that nobody else knows about.
Yeah.
That's what I found.
Yeah.
And so, I think you told me a couple times, this one's coming available. It's not available yet. And since I was looking for something several months out, mm-hmm. it was a great conversation for you to have, and you were sending me photos and everything.
Yeah.
But it's important, I think, when you're working with an agent, not only are you looking for someone like Kay who has good accountability and honesty, but you be honest and accountable with the agent as well. And that way we have a good working relationship.
Yeah. Because I look for homes every day.
Yeah.
I have a new listing every week.
Yeah.
I could have more than 5 a week,
mm-hmm.
but sometimes I say no because I can't do it.
Right.
Yeah. But I guarantee you, I will always have new homes.
Right. Yeah. And that's inventory, I think, is what we call it. That we're looking for somebody, and in a smaller town, like Chiang Rai here, that's important, because I mean, if there's just if you're going to take the time and go to the expense of coming here to go shopping for the right lease, which I recommend, don't just come here and move here and then look for a place. I mean, it's good to come here and do some shopping first, as you helped me with. Mm-hmm. But when you're able to do something like that, you're not you don't want to limit yourself with an agent. That's interesting. Mm-hmm. It's fall. That you're not working with an agent who's not going to be able to show you enough possibilities, and you showed me plenty. I feel like as a realtor, I just don't want to just sell or show whatever it is that I have. Right. I want to show something that you will like. Right. Yeah.
You will be comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you were working with me, is there anything that took me a while to understand, even though I have a real estate background, or where you were saying like, oh no, it's not like that in Thailand, Damian?
I think you're quite easy. I don't know what to say, because you seem to understand and everything, and you're very respectful.
Okay, good. That's important then.
That's very, not everyone's like that.
Okay, all right.
But you're very respectful to the country, to the people,
okay.
and to everyone, and I appreciate that about you.
You hear that, Ray?
Thank you, Kay. So it was really easy with you, so I don't know what to say.
Right. Well, I think what we spoke about earlier, of where you said gray area versus black and white. Did it surprise you when I said I wanted to sign a lease contract several months in advance?
No, I like that
Okay.
you want to sign early so I can prepare.
Okay.
Yeah, the house, because if you say, I'll sign tomorrow, then I have no time to prepare the house for you.
Right, okay. Yeah, and she went out of her way. There was even one night's accommodation when I came to town with my little dog. She made sure I had a place to stay so I could move in the next day. There were so many things that I had to get used to and have a my Ben Rai attitude about. which is hang loose, no worries. Try to go with it. And so, for example, it took me a while to be able to get delivered purified water, drinking water, at the house because of a miscommunication I think that you helped with. And so I was just buying water at the 7-Eleven, wasting all that plastic and that type of thing. But we eventually worked it out, and nobody ever got angry. Nobody ever, it never became like a problem. It was just, you go to the 7-Eleven until you get it fixed, Yeah.
Yeah. Well, water is an issue in Thailand, kind of.
I don't drink the tap water, do you?
No.
Yeah.
Well, because here the public water is undrinkable.
Right. Yeah.
And they put a lot of chlorine in it.
Yeah.
So you have to have a good water filter system, or you buy one, or you have to buy water. So that's the difference.
Okay.
From Chiang Rai to the U.S.,
Yeah.
correct? Because you can drink from the tap.
Sometimes.
Really?
Depends on the city. Depends.
Oh.
Yeah. We've had problems in the past, and I drank filtered water when I was in the U.S. I had a filtration system. Another thing I noticed that was different here was it was very common for when you lease a home at least in Nevada, it was your first month's rent and 1 month's deposit. Different here, yeah?
Depends.
Yeah. I saw a lot of 2-month deposits plus first month's rent.
Right, because, some people, they just wreck the house and leave.
Okay. Well, they're dealing with more foreigners than we are, yeah.
Yeah, wreck the house and leave, and then, because one aircon costs a lot of money, and the rent here is not that high. I feel like in the U.S. the rental price is much higher, so 1 month deposit is probably enough to cover all the damages.
Yeah.
But here, even 2 months sometimes is not enough to cover all the damages,
Yeah.
So I think it's fair, for both parties. Yeah.
I decided to lease instead of buy because I prefer a house. But what would you say to a foreigner that wanted to buy land in Thailand or a home with land?
Foreigners cannot buy land.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Condos are different, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes? Okay.
Yeah. Condo. You can buy an apartment if the whole, I don't know if I can say it correctly, if there's an apartment, for example, with 100 rooms.
Yes.
So 49% of the building can be owned by a foreigner. If more than 49, you cannot buy. You have to wait until foreign-owned rooms available, then you can buy.
Is there anything about an occupancy ratio as well? For example, so a certain percentage of them have to be occupied by the owner and not rentals?
You can rent, but it's just, ownership.
Right.
Yeah.
That applies more in the U.S. where certain home loans would not be approved unless the occupancy ratio was correct. Because if you have only investors owning in a building and renting out all the properties, a lot of loans won't go through. That's another thing you won't find a lot here is home loans. A lot of cash purchases instead, yeah?
Foreigners can't really get a loan.
No.
No.
Right.
For Thais can be difficult. Usually you have to work for the government.
Right.
Then you could get a loan.
Okay.
Because it gets even harder and harder for the bank to give you a loan in Thailand.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for the past few years.
And I think my little dog Pi would have been a problem at a condo as well, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No pets allowed.
No pets allowed
No.
in condominiums in Thailand.
Well, not
most.
in Chiang Rai.
Yes, they're right. Thank you.
Yeah.
They're, like you go down to Pattaya or Phuket, and you'll find exceptions there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, one thing that some of our viewers may not know is that you're a movie star. Can you talk a little bit about that and what you have coming up?
Well, I'm doing House Hunter Internationals. I've been doing it for 4 or 5 episodes now in the past 6, 7 years, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
It will be aired in New York if you're next year.
Right.
Yeah, if you want to see me.
Yeah. I bought an episode. She said, "Oh, I'm a movie star." I'm like, "Okay, this is worth my $5." So, I'm not going to buy the series. I just bought your episode. But it was really great. Yeah, it was the one I watched was you were helping a young couple that were looking for a place to lease, and you were showing them the different homes, and they showed them, through their decision-making process, like starting. Isn't it always the case that what they tell you in the beginning, they don't end up renting so much?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just them talking in the beginning, and then as you work with them, show them house, you think, oh, there's something, if you like this, you're gonna love this, and then you see, and they're like, oh, perfect, it hits. Yeah.
And usually, like the couple, they always like have different thoughts.
Yes. Yeah. That very often the case. Anything else that kind of hits you that it's like, boy, I wish more foreigners would understand this blank about Thailand real estate?
I think for foreigners, when you come to Thailand, I think the most important, you have to respect the culture and really respect the owner, because it's not all black and white here. So it's really, really important to respect the owner.
You gave me some great advice relating to that. It was New Year's, and gifts are common during New Year's. And I wanted to give a gift to my housekeeper and to my groundskeeper, who work for the owner of the property, right? And you told me, I said, how should I go about this? And you told me, well, you probably don't want to give more than you, and you gave me an amount.
Yeah.
And the reason was?
Well, I feel that whatever gifts you give to the worker should be less than what the owner would give to the worker.
Right.
It's just a respect. I don't know.
Yeah. You don't want to outshine the king.
No, you don't want to do that.
Got it.
You just, yeah.
That was great advice, and the gifts were well received. I had my Thai school language school teacher show me how to write "This is a gift for you for a Happy New Year" on the envelope.
Is it not like that in the U.S. also?
We don't worry so much about outshining someone else.
Really?
No, we don't. We are more like, if we don't. There's a quote, I'm paraphrasing, but your living small serves no one, and that you should try to be respectful, and you should try to do all you can. Well, that's about it for our interview. I want to really thank you. Thank you, Kay. And your website is k.estate, right?
It's kay.estate. No.com, no World Wide Web.
Got it. Well, thanks a lot, folks. I hope you enjoyed the differences between Thai real estate and American real estate. And we hope to see you soon.
Okay, folks, that's it. I hope you got something from that. It's a very different place to do business. And if you want to rent a property, listen to what Kay had to say. In the meantime, if there's any comments you'd like to make, put them in the comments below. If you've got anything you'd like to share related to this, put that in the comments also. Any questions, anything else you'd like to know about? Comments. Right. Okay, that's it for this time. I'll talk to you next video.